Hey, it's Brett Gregory, and if you can see my face and hear my voice, please go to the questions box right now and let me know that you can see me and hear me. And then also let us know what city and country you're tuning in from. We've got just such an amazing global audience and tribe, and I'm so appreciative of you coming here and letting me impart just a little bit of Facebook marketing wisdom for you. And it really warms my heart to see where you're coming from, where you're tuning in from. So right now, if you're just joining us, just go over to the questions box right there and let me know that you can see me and hear me. And then also let us know what city and country you're tuning in from. Okay, it's Brett Gregory, and we've got a great program for you today. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk to you about how you can go about growing your business using Facebook. And what we're specifically going to talk about is how to use Facebook's audience insights. So what's Facebook audience insights? Hey, Patty from Keystone, Colorado, how you doing? What's Facebook audience insights? And actually, I'm going to say hi to a few people before I jump in. Hey, Helen. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Polly. You're from Ramona, and Jackie's from Colorado Springs, and Helen. Yes, dear, we see you. Good to see you too, Helen. And Patty's from Keystone, Colorado. Janice is from Redland, Oregon. And Helen's from Sweden. See, I love this global audience. It's so exciting for me to have the opportunity to just talk to people all over the world and hopefully give you a little bit of insight and advice on how to start attracting customers to you on Facebook. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about how to use Facebook to laser target your audience. So to figure out exactly who your target audience is, where to find them, but most importantly, how to get them to find you. And we have Josie from Sarin, awesome. And Curtis is from Fort Collins. Way to go, Curtis, welcome, thank you. And Cindy is from Appleton, Wisconsin. Great, this is so exciting to have all of you live with us. And Heli is from Denmark. Wow, fantastic. So do me a favor and tell me a little bit about who you think your target customer is. Because what I'm going to do is I'm about to do a live demonstration using one of Facebook's most powerful tools called Audience Insights. In fact, I'm going to start the process of navigating over there as I'm talking to you. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to help you laser target your audience. So do me a favor and go into the questions box right there and tell me who your perfect customer is. Now, don't tell me about your average customer. Don't tell me about the ones that aren't perfect. Tell me your perfect customer. And what I want you to do is I want you to describe not necessarily your perfect customer's demographics. That's usually what everybody does. And demographics are fine and they're necessary. But what's more important is psychographics. What's psychographics? Well, it's what your customers are interested in. It's what they're thinking. It's what's going on in their mind. Specifically, it's what problem they have that you are uniquely qualified to solve. And I'm going to show you how to use Facebook right now to figure out how to find them, how to laser target them, and ultimately how to get them to find you. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go to, I'm going to navigate to Facebook and I'm going to share my screen. But let's see what you are writing. So Polly is people who have anxiety and panic attacks. Okay, great. And so tell me, for all of you out there, tell me who is your target customer? Who's the one that you need to reach? The one that you are uniquely qualified to solve their problems. And so let's see, Peggy says, parents and grandparents, but my book targets teens who've been bullied or abused. So great, you're totally thinking the right way, Peggy, about focusing on the parents or grandparents, because those are the buyers. Janice, my business is primarily women ages 21 through 65 and men buying for women, ladies sleep and loungewear. Fantastic, sounds like fun, Janice. Heli, everyone who is interested in using money for their health. Okay, this is great. So one of the things that I want to do is we want to narrow down the specific target, because that is going to give you the best chance of success. So for example, Heli, and I'll just use you an example with your permission, if I may. When you look at everyone who wants to use money for their health, you're talking about 1 billion people. It's an enormous audience. It's too large. So let's see if we can narrow this down a little bit more. And then I'm going to show you how to use Facebook to actually help you do that. So tell me, Helen, what it is that you do. So Marita is bringing out a new app for job seekers. So anyone looking for a job. Okay, Marita, fantastic. So similar, Marita, to you, let's go a little bit more narrow. So take it from everyone who's looking for a job, and what's the next step more narrow? So what type of jobs are they looking for? Or tell me something that's going to help narrow it down significantly. And Cindy is art or jewelry. Okay, so give me a little bit more information there, Cindy. What is your customer's big problem that they're looking to you to solve? And then we're going to jump into Facebook. So Tom says, I give multicultural walking tours to native, sorry, we're moving a little fast here, native and tourists to the city. Okay, so what city are you talking about, Tom? Steve Horner says, investors who buy homes for long-term, short-term rental purposes. I'm in a destination market, Orlando. Ooh, okay, Tom, or excuse me, Steve. So this is great. So we can talk to you about focusing on a specific area in and around Orlando. So that's really helpful. Polly, someone who's been disabled, adjusted their lives because of their anxiety, they've had panic attacks, then more likely be ready for help. Even though 50% men and 50% women make up the buying decisions. Now that's really important for you to know, Polly. So let's do this. So what we're gonna do right now is we're going to go to Facebook's very powerful tool. And I need a volunteer. So what we're going to do with this volunteer is we're going to start with one person, and I'm going to use Facebook's really powerful tool called Audience Insights to help you laser target and figure out who you're going after. So the way that I want to look for a volunteer is right in the questions box. Tell me, number one, what it is that you do, and number two, give me a big name of someone your customer would follow on Facebook. Okay, so tell me, number one, what it is that you do, and number two, give me the name of a person or a business or a magazine that your customers are likely to have clicked the like button on Facebook. So go ahead and go do that. So let's see. Women 30 to 50 looking for reasonably priced custom jewelry that reflects their personality and philosophy. Okay, great. Josie, empowering women to live vibrantly, healthy lives the natural way. Okay, fantastic. Marita, at the moment we only support job seekers in the USA. That's fine. The USA is a pretty big country, so you got lots of people to go after. Okay, so let's do this. What we're going to do is, let me just walk you through the how you go about targeting your customers on Facebook using Facebook's tool. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share my screen with you. So let's do a little screen share here, and we're going to start with this. So let me know if you can see my screen, the slideshow that shows laser target your customers. If you can see it, write the words yes, please. And then we're going to jump right in. All right, so here we go. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you how to use Facebook's Audience Insights tool. It's a very simple, powerful tool that's going to show you how to laser target your perfect customers. Excuse me, I'm going to take a sip of water there. So the thing is, now with these new tools that are on Facebook, it's easier than ever to laser target your customer. And this tool is really fantastic because it shows you how to find your prospective customers with the Audience Insights tool. So the first is, how do you get there? So there's a couple different ways to get to Audience Insights tool. But the first thing is you need to go to your ads manager. So let me just show you, and I'm going to do it just a tiny bit of back and forth here. But I'm just going to show you the first thing that you want to do is get to your ads manager. So how do you get to your ads manager? So you see this drop down on the right hand side. you're going to go down and you're going to go to click on this Manage Ads right there. You can click on Manage Ads. And what that does is it's going to get you to this page. You'll see your account, you'll see Manage Ads, account setting, billing, Power Editor, and so on. Then the second step is you click on Tools. Okay, so you click on this drop down here. I'm just going to take a quick screenshot of this so that I can update my my PowerPoint slides here, and that's where you're going to choose Audience Insights. So it's right there. So remember, step 1, you go to your Ads Manager. Step 2, you go to your Audience Insights. Now, sometimes people have trouble finding their Ads Manager. If you have trouble finding your Ads Manager, if for some reason you can't find it, you can just put directly in this URL. You can type in and I just posted in the chat, facebook.com/ads/manager. Okay, so if you're having any trouble finding the Ads Manager, that's the way to get in there. All right, so let's go back. And the first thing, once you're in your Ads Manager, that's when you get to choose a starting point. Okay, now for our purposes, there are 3 options, but for our purposes, I just want to use one starting. So whenever you do this, just click everyone on Facebook. Don't do anything other than that. Just click everyone on Facebook. And then what's going to show up, the first thing that you get to do is you can choose location, age, or interest. Okay, and so this is, your demographic kind of thing. What demographics are fine, and demographics are important, but what's more important is interest. That's what we call psychographics. Okay, so we want to figure out what is our customer interested in, because Facebook's going to give you the way to just pinpoint them through your Facebook advertising. So the first thing you do is you can add in your countries on the left-hand side. You can target that age and gender, and then you can start clicking on interests. What I really like about interests is when you click on interests, you can put in one interest, and then it'll allow you have a choice. It'll default to demographics, but then you can click on page likes. And when you click on page likes, what Facebook is going to do is it's going to make a lot of suggestions of people who like that specific interest that they probably will have liked other pages. Okay, so you can look at, it'll show you, and this is going to be very powerful. We're going to use this a lot, so make sure to remember the page likes tab. There are other tabs, location, activity. I haven't found them, device users. I haven't found them to be that useful, unless you're creating an application and you want to target specific device users. Otherwise, I don't use this tab. But this one is interesting, household income. Now, to be clear, household income, it's only available if you're targeting the United States. So Facebook gets census data, and they pull the census data in, and they make an estimate based on what they think your household income might be based on your occupation and other census data information. So it feels a little Big Brother kind of stuff, but the reality is that this information can be very useful if you're targeting a specific audience. So let's say you only wanted to, and again, just last caveat, it's only available in the United States. So if you're targeting anywhere outside the US, this feature does not work. So a lot of times we'll run more than one ad at the same time. One ad is inside the US and one ad is outside the US. And we know inside the US, we can target a certain household income, which can be very useful. So the next thing is, so take a look on the left side of my screen. Okay, so you see where it says additional interest, and now I'm going to do a demo with one of you here in just a minute, right after I take a sip of water, excuse me. So this is an example of somebody who's in the health and wellness business, okay? And if you're looking to target interests, so if you look on the left-hand side, let's say, for example, the first thing we typed in, the very first interest is, for example, Whole Foods Market, okay? So let's say, and we're living in the United States, and we know that people are targeting Whole Foods. The people who like Whole Foods Market have a good chance at being interested in our services. Or for another example, you could just as easily start with the word wellness and alternative medicine. And what you do is you type it in the interest box, and when it pops up below, you just simply select it. And then that's where the magic begins. What Facebook is going to do is they're going to come up with suggestions of other similar pages that your prospective customers might have already clicked the like button on. And so what you're going to do then, which is really cool, is you're going to add in additional interests. And the additional interests are going to be based on the suggestions that Facebook makes. And the suggestions based on what Facebook makes is, on the right-hand side, you can see the little bar graph, and it says Affinity. Well, what's that? Well, what that means is, if you look, for example, if you take the people who have liked on the left-hand side, 100 days real food, 12 tomatoes, alternative medicine, detoxification, and so on, those people are 4.8 times as likely to also like Paula Deen, and to also like, looks like there's 2 different 12 tomatoes, but also like women freebies and women get it free and that sort of thing. So what we want to do is we want to look at the suggested page likes and only choose the one that makes sense. For example, it wouldn't make sense to choose women freebies, but it would make sense to choose 12 tomatoes, because that's actually something that is in alignment here. It would not make sense to add to your interest Dusty Old Thing or perhaps not Wayfair, but it would be good to add in, for example, Paula Deen. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to be given some great suggestions, and it's up to you to go through the suggestions and pick out the ones that are relevant and make sense, and leave out the ones that are not. And I'll show you in a live demo. This is super easy. Facebook makes it really easy. So here we go. So now, and please take a screenshot of this, okay? So this is an example of my top 5 countries where we have customers in. So when I run ads, I almost always do it in these 5 countries: Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United Kingdom, United States. Those are, and the reason why is because those are my top 5 countries where people purchase our online programs. And I want to be clear about something. When I first started this, got into this 8 years ago, and I started advertising on Facebook, I never imagined in a million years that someone from outside my home country of the United States would purchase any of our programs. Never thought in a million years. But lo and behold, almost half of our sales come from countries outside the United States. Netherlands is another big one, Germany, France, Sweden, and we have countries in Asia. We even have United Arab Emirates. We have people from all over the world. So please don't think small. Think big. When we're in the age of digital information, people can buy your products from anywhere in the world. So don't worry if it is, don't think small. Don't think just in your zip code. We can want to think a little bit bigger than that. And so you can see down on the lower left-hand side, you can see age, 40 and above, women in this particular example. And then you have the option. You can do all sorts of advanced choices on the right-hand side. But for our purposes today, we're just going to stick with interests and location, age, and gender. So here's your exercise. We're going to have you create your own custom audience. We're going to do this together right now, okay? So remember, how do you get to your custom audiences? Okay, so let's focus on that for just a second. Remember, you go to your Facebook Ads Manager, and if you can't find that, here's the drop down. For example, you go to Manage Ads, and if you can't find that, just go right into facebook.com/ads/manager. You can just type it right into your browser, okay? So then let's go to the volunteer. And by the way, if your screen goes blurry at all, it's probably on your side. And so just, if it doesn't get clear, worst case scenario, just refresh your browser, and you might have to log back out and log back in. But that happens from time to time. That's just a Google thing, unfortunately. So now that we're in the Facebook Ads Manager, you click on this Tools and you select Audience Insights, okay? And that's going to take you to this page, Audience Insights. So now let's find our volunteer who we had talked about before. So Wendy has a good question. Should you limit the number of countries to a few, or is it okay to target 10 countries in the one ad? Great question, Wendy. So it really depends on what type of advertisement you're doing. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go we're going to go fairly narrow. But let's start with so Helen, I believe you said you were in the health and wellness space. Is that correct, Helen? Are you in the health and wellness space? And what I can do here is if you can go into the chat box and you can request to come in as a speaker, we can actually go live with you and bring you in on this webinar. Otherwise, I'll just do it with you through the chat, through the live chat. So Helen, please remind me if you are in the health and wellness business, or is someone else who jumped in. I saw somebody in the health and wellness business. I don't want to make sure I got the right. Okay, Helen. So let's start with Helen. So what we're going to do, Helen, and you are remind me the demographic of your person and your ideal customer. And what I really want from you is if you could tell me what is the number one thing that your customers will be interested in. And when I say thing, it could be a person, it could be a website, it could be a store like in our example that we just showed you, Whole Foods, or it could be something like alternative medicine or health and wellness or something to that effect. So let me know if the Helen, which one that would be for you, and then we can start typing it in. And I know there's a little bit of a lag for us going back and forth here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with let's start with an example here, and let's start with say for example detoxification. Okay, so let's see if that works for us here. So I'm going to type in in the countries here. So let's do United States, Canada. All right, we're going to do Australia. We're going to do New Zealand. Let's do Netherlands. And tell me, what is your home country, Helen? And then the approximate age. And I realize you might have done this before, but there have been so many comments. It's going to be difficult for me to go and hunt and find them. So what I will, Helen, you mentioned about people who are interested in using money for their health, and you have alternative medicine. And so let's say Margaret says, hello from beautiful Ireland. Hello from Ireland. Let's put Ireland in there. That's another great country. And let's also do Germany. Let's pop in France and put in Sweden, Switzerland. And so it might never have occurred to you. So Helen, homeopathic medicine from Sweden, fantastic. So for other people, it might never have occurred to you to use countries outside your home country. But I want to encourage you to think big. So what we're going to do, and Helen, is it mostly men or women? So let's just start with this. We're going to do women over the age of 35. And you mentioned in the interest homeopathic medicine. And you also mentioned alternative medicine. So let's start out with alternative. So here we go, alternative medicine. And then, okay, so the first one that you do, something interesting happens. You saw a change going on here on the right-hand side. So here's what you're going to do. In this, once you have one interest and you slide up, see where it says demographics? I want you to click to page likes, page likes. What this is going to do is it's going to start to make suggestions, and it makes good suggestions. And it's up to you then to go into the suggestions and to find the ones that are going to be appropriate. Okay, so if I go into suggestions and I look here, if I'm interested in going after people who are interested in alternative medicine, I think what would work well is a suggestion of herbs and natural remedies, health and natural living. I would also look at something like Dr. Joseph Mercola, maybe somebody else, let's see, the soul, eating well, those kinds of things. So those would all be good interests. So let's see if we can start to get some of these. We're going to start with natural remedies. Okay, so I'm going to select natural remedies, and then it's going to, the suggestions are going to update. Okay, this is super cool. Yeah, Helen said that is awesome. You bet. It gets even more awesome as you go through and you narrow this down. So let's take a look at, we got natural remedies. Let's go to and do wellness again. We have wellness alternative medicine here. And then we have things like Dr. Oz, Dr. Wayne Dyer. So let's do Oz, Dr. Oz. All right, so here we go. They got the Dr. Oz show, and there'll be there's several different fan pages with Dr. Oz in it, okay? And you can do this same exact thought process in any industry. There really isn't an industry that I know of that you can't. Sometimes it requires creative thinking, but usually and here's some, Beyond Diet, Weight Not. Those are interesting ones. So let's take a look at Beyond Diet. Okay, organic food. Some other, you could do like 12 tomatoes, for example. I had never heard of 12 tomatoes before I did this, but it turns out this is actually, a really interesting site. It's a magazine that is, really focuses on food. But a lot of people, a lot of times there are healthy foods in here. So if it's not, and I just looked at it, and while this one may not be perfect, so if it's not perfect, don't put it in. It's up to you. You must use your own thought process to figure out which one is going to be good. So I would say, for example, I would not use Crock-Pot Ladies on this. I would probably not use Mommy's Kitchen. I'd definitely not use We Love Birds. So don't just blindly go after any one of these. But let me click on Affinity here, and here's an example. So when I click on Affinity, this means that people who like these things are almost 6 times more likely to like the page Beyond Diet. All right, so I included Beyond Diet there. This is another one, Everyday Roots. That's a good one. I like the idea, Steps to Health, Step to Health. Oh, and here's something that's important. If this happens sometimes. When you see this page, Step to Health, I just tried to write it in, but it didn't pop up in the interest, okay? Step to Health. It did not pop up in the interest. That happens sometimes, okay? So if it doesn't pop up in the interest, that means you cannot select it. No big deal. There's a ton of other ones that you can select. So make it easy on yourself, all right? So now what we want to do, Helen, and this is it, and I want to cue this up for the next person because we'll be able to do this again once we're done with Helen. So just go in, and I'm sorry I have to start this over because a lot of people push down, all the responses push down what I saw earlier. So while I'm wrapping up Helen here, go into the questions, into the chat box, and tell me who is your target customer and and give me an interest. And it needs to be an interest that they are likely to have liked. Okay, so go and do that now. And when we're done with Helen, I can jump on to the next example. Right after I take a sip of water, excuse me. This talking has got me a little parched here. Apologize. Okay, so now I want to identify something. So we're going to do 2 different things for you, Helen. You can see this is a large audience, okay? This is 15 million people. Now, I teach a bunch of different courses on Facebook marketing, and somebody asked me, people ask all the time, well, how much should I spend? How large should the audience be? And unfortunately, that's not a simple question. The answer always depends on what it is that you're trying to do. And I'm going to make this really easy for you. If you're trying to get more page likes, okay, so let me just show you, a couple of our pages. All right, so if I go to my let's go to my Costa Rica page, for example. Here's our Costa Rica page. You could see that we got, here we go. We got over half a million likes on our Costa Rica page. You can see 565,000 likes. Our yoga page has over 1.3 million, and my Brett Gregory page has about, so here if I go into my yoga page, and there's a couple of my amazing clients here, Freddie Weaver and Elspeth Moit. They're actually really doing amazingly well in their online coaching business, and we've helped them get a lot of new clients from Facebook. It's been really fun working with them. But let me just show you a quick example here with these two. So let's go to Brett. I'm just going to pull these open so you can see them. On our yoga page, we have, you can see 1.3 million likes, all right? And this page pretty consistently does about $8,000 a month in recurring revenue, where we drive traffic to a place that coordinates Costa Rica yoga retreats. And here's my page. You can see 259,000 likes, okay? And then, and I mentioned the Costa Rica page. We actually did 1.5 million in sales from this Costa Rica page. So for anybody out there who thinks you can't build a business by growing a following on Facebook, this is proof that you absolutely can, okay? So the reason why I digress there for a moment is because when you create an advertising campaign to get more page likes, all right? So the idea is grow your following, and just because I'm showing you big numbers here, don't feel like you need to get 1 million, okay? You don't need 1 million likes, all right? But we were able to do it. What you'll want to do is when you create a page likes campaign for the purpose of getting cost-effective social proof, what you want to do is you want to get a very large audience that is relevant, okay? Similar to this that we're doing for Helen. So what I want to show you is Helen. What I want you to do is you can click the save button here. Okay, so you see how it says audience name. Click the save button, and then you can type in, it's not letting me do it because there's a lot of people on the webinar. It's slowing down the machine just a little bit, so I apologize. But you just click in that box and you type in save, okay, and you create the name. So that's one audience. So that would be your page-like audience. A different type of audience is when you want to drive traffic to your websites. If you want to get people to register for your webinar, you want to build your email list, you want to do anything else, this audience would be too large for that. Okay, so remember, page likes, you want it very large. But when you're driving traffic to a website, you want it much more narrow. Okay, so let's show you how to do that. So when you go into this, when you have a big audience like this, there's a couple things that you can do. And what you want to do is click on this advanced here. All right, so advanced. So the first thing you can do, there's actually a lot of things you can do, but when you click on language here, for example, you can, let's just say, for example, you're in English. Now I know, Helen, you may want to do English and Swedish, but you can see what that did is that dropped our audience by 5 million people. Because we're going in, we're advertising in some non-English speaking countries, right? So we dropped the audience size. Then you can go even farther, okay? So there's a lot of different things that you can do. And if, let's say, for example, you have the people that you tend to attract happen to have, college or above education. All right, so you can click those two things. That gets you down another several million people, okay? And you can keep going at this, you can really keep going forever. And you could just go down and say, okay, what kind of people are we going after? This is really interesting. Let's say you want to target people who work from home, okay? Now, I'm not sure that makes 100% sense in the health space where Helen is in, but you could target that if you wanted to. The other things here you can look at, do these people do they live in a house? So somebody was in real estate asking about homeowners and renters. Our buddy from Orlando here, this is a way that you can target people who they're renters or they're homeowners. You can target those in a specific area. So you can really boil this down. You know, you can look at life events, okay? You can look at behaviors. You can look at all sorts of things. You know, you type in behaviors, it's got, do they make charitable donations? Do they do digital activities? What's their job role? What's their purchase behavior? You know, you can even target people, for example, you can even target people who, if you click on digital activity, let's say I only want to target people who have run Facebook ads. You can click here, Facebook payments. Okay, and what that does, you can see that narrows it way down, okay, out of this entire list. All right, so again, that's just an example that's not terribly relevant here, so I could just uncheck that box just as easily. But that gives you an idea. And Helen, the other thing is, let's say you wanted to just target, for example, women over between 45 and 55, okay? Right there, that's something you can do. That's 2.5 million to 3 million. That's a good audience for you, Helen. So global audience who are interested in their health and investing in their health. And it's a size of about 2.5 to 3 million monthly active people. That's a really good audience for you, Helen. Okay, and so let's go to, hang on just a moment. Josie, you mentioned, hang on just a second. Josie, you mentioned you created an audience, it got lots of clicks to the website and no opt-ins. So Josie, tell me a little bit more, because there's a whole lot behind that question when you're talking about getting conversions off of this kind of traffic. So tell me a little bit more about who you targeted and where they were going. Okay. Thank you, Helen. I appreciate that. And yes, you are wrapped up. So let's go to Margaret. So Margaret asked for small local businesses who need help with Facebook and LinkedIn. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to save this audience because I actually have a lot of audiences like that. So I'm just going to click the Create New button, and I'm going to click Don't Save. So this is for Margaret, small businesses who need help with Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay, here we go. So, and Margaret, can you work online with anyone all over the world? That's the first really important question. So let's just assume that you can work online and help people who need help with Facebook and LinkedIn and so on. So let's say you can go Canada. All right, so I'm going to do United Kingdom. We do Australia. All right, let's go to Netherlands, New Zealand. And so again, these are Ireland. And I'll throw in Germany. Okay, and you can keep going with this, but we have customers from all of those countries, so don't be sure not to pigeonhole yourself there, Margaret, and saying that you only have to work with businesses in your zip code, because that makes it a very expensive ad. But then let's go to let's say their age is 35 plus. Okay, and then let's focus on their interests first. Okay, so their interests being, you tell me, Margaret, what's an interest that your customers would most likely have? And so since you mentioned Facebook and LinkedIn, let's start off with like social media examiner. All right, and so let's just select that one. Okay, remember, what do we do? What's the first thing we do? The first thing is it'll default you to demographics, but I want you to click on page likes. Okay, and now it's going to give you some options. So like social media examiner. Social media examiner. Oh, I already have that one, sorry. So then let's look at digital marketer. Okay, digital marketer. Right there. All right, and then so these are just the suggestions that are coming up. I can pop in Amy Porterfield. All right, I can pop in Mari Smith. Okay, I can pop in. Then there's some other ones here, Success Magazine. I'm going to do another social media. It's like social media marketing. Okay, and then this one is interesting, Facebook for Business. Okay, that's interesting. There was another one interesting there, Facebook for Local. Okay. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking these suggestions here, and here's another good one, like HubSpot, okay, Infusionsoft, okay. So those are some good examples. And now what you can do, all right, so that gets you to 2.5 million monthly active people, okay. So now let's go to and Terry, I'll work with you next. But Terry, do me a favor and give me a couple of large magazines that people are large magazines that your customers would like. So whatever luxury home magazine. So national magazines. They don't have to live in Arizona to get this magazine. And I'm queuing you up to be next. So then what I want you to do, Margaret, is click on behaviors. All right, and so then click this drop down. You can see digital activity, and here you can select these: Facebook page administrators, people who have recently run a Facebook ad, people who spend more than average on Facebook, events creators. So those are all people who likely need help with Facebook. And now this gets you a really targeted audience of 1.5 million to 2 million people who like these interests, and they have these digital activities. So they also have run Facebook ads, and they run Facebook pages and that kind of thing. So hopefully that's helpful. So you would just then click save and save that audience here. So I would save it. You want to save it in a way that is going to be really clear for you to remember. So I would say like 1.5 million global social media. All right, and then I would save that audience like that, and that's how now you'll be able to use that audience when you go and create an ad. So how do you do that? You see this big green button that says create ad? Just click on it, and that audience will automatically go right into your ad. Okay, so let's go to Terry. So Terry, give me a name of a magazine that your customers are likely to follow. Give me the name of a magazine that your customers are likely to follow. So let's look in. I'm going to click create new. All right, we're going to start with everyone on Facebook, and we're going to go. So we'll just start with. One thing to step back, Terry. When you're targeting buyers, there can be buyers from outside the United States who are interested in looking in Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay, that's an important thing to remember. So you don't necessarily want to target people who are in Scottsdale, because they might be looking for a home that has a better climate, an escape, a winter escape. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you're targeting the United States, throw in Canada, throw in United Kingdom. Right. Okay, Australia. And Austria, you can do Australia, Germany, France, and think about some places where it gets cold in the winter. Okay, and also Netherlands. All right, so now you've got, now we've got this huge audience, 350 million people, and now we want to narrow it down. So what are the demographics of buyers of homes? Maybe it's a second home. It might be over the age of 40 and in the interest. So let's talk about luxury real estate. Look at that right there, luxury real estate. Okay, and so now when I go to luxury real estate, I'm going to click on page likes, and let's see what else comes up. And you might have to get a little creative here, because sometimes, oh, this is interesting, St. Regis. So the people who are interested in luxury real estate in Arizona, there's a good chance that they will have liked the St. Regis, because that's a luxury. Okay, so St. Regis. All right, so let's pop that in. And on that note, then they may have liked, oh, and this is interesting, Home Away. I really like that one, Home Away. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. All right, so apparently there's Home Away TV shows. All right, Home Away UK and so on. That gives you some good ones. What about there are other websites where people can rent, rent a home. I'm just doing, in fact, help me out here, guys. What's another website where people can go rent a home online? Like, for example, vrbo.com. Okay, so that's an Airbnb. All right, vrbo.com. So let's try Airbnb. All right, Airbnb. Here we go, Airbnb right there. Got it. And then let's do VRBO. Okay, vacation rental by owner. All right, there you go. All right, so we got some good stuff here, and there's now a lot of potential for you to look at. Okay, so this is great. So now we've got 3.5 million to 4 million monthly active people. So that's a lot of people. So we want to pare that down a little bit. We don't want to go too small, but we want to pare that down a little bit. So one of the things you could do is go, maybe closer towards 50 here. That's one way. So that gets you down. That gets you down to a nice size, 2 to 2.5 million people. That's a really nice size. Now let me just talk to you one other second, Terry, about a philosophy that has worked really well for us. And the philosophy is about naming your page, okay? And I teach this in our course, Track Customers Now from Facebook. Naming your page is very important. So if you're a author, speaker, coach, if you are your business, I'm going to tell you to name your page your name. And the reason why is because people are much more likely to like you as a person as opposed to like your brand. And I want to see a picture of you in the profile. All right, so this is my business Facebook page, Brett Gregory. That's the picture of me in the profile. Okay, so if you're an author, speaker, coach, if your business is you, then name your page your name. Now, for example, my friend Terry here, if you're marketing luxury real estate in Scottsdale, here's something that you might want to do. You might want to name your page, something like I love Scottsdale. All right, and that's something that I would do. And the reason why, this is a methodology of naming your page called branding. All right, so there's either personal branding where you're branding you, or you can brand something that is more generic. Okay, and the difference is really important because it's really easy to get a lot of likes for a page called Costa Rica. It's easier to get a lot of likes for a page called I Love Scottsdale. It's much harder to get likes for your name. However, if you are your business, this is the better way to go. Almost invariably, it's the better way to go. And so what I might suggest is, if you're in the kind of real estate business, and there's some businesses that it makes sense to do the branding methodology of naming your page. Real estate is certainly one of them. That is one place where I would frequently default to making your local area the name of your page. So we did 1.5 million in real estate sales from this Facebook page. We were selling our shares and investors for people who wanted to come into our super eco-friendly wellness community in Costa Rica. And it was because of this page that was successful. So there you go. So I don't see, let me take a look at, I'm going to go through. So if there's any other questions, please pop those questions in so I can take a look and read them. So Janice says, plus size, specifically plus size women interested in nightgowns, sleepwear. So Jana, so really what you would do is just like anyone else would do, is go to the interest and pick something. So what's a magazine for plus size women looking for nightwear or lingerie? Okay, so do that search and start there. Once you do that, once you have one interest, you're going to get a bunch of other suggestions, and then you can just go pick and choose through the suggestions. So hopefully that helps you there. Linda, so I'm sorry, Linda said Airbnb. Okay, let me know what other questions you have. Polly, someone who suffers from disability from anxiety and panic attack. There's a popular Facebook page called Anxiety. Great. So that's what you should do, Polly, is start out with type in the interest with a page or a magazine or something that is very large that your customers will follow, some kind of interest that your customers will follow. Type it in and start there. Okay, and so that looks like that about wraps it up here. I'm going to take any last questions. So if you got any last questions, go ahead and pop it in. And one thing I want to mention is that some of you know that if you could spend private time with me, that you could really benefit from me looking at your plan and seeing what you're doing next year in 2016 to make sure that you have the best year of your life. So anybody who's interested in coaching one-on-one with me or letting me take a look at your business, please go and type in the questions box right now. Type in one-on-one. Okay, so just type in the words one-on-one. And what I am interested in, I'm opening up my calendar to you for the purpose of making sure that you can have the best year of your life by letting me take a look at your business. But here's the problem. If you can't hire me for just one-off coaching, meaning for coaching just one session only. So go ahead, and if you're interested in having me take a look at your business, just go ahead and write in the message box one-on-one. Okay. So again, here's the problem. Because I'm not available for one-off coaching, or coaching for one session only. For the people who hire me for long-term coaching one-on-one, they spend $2,000 a month, and that's to be able to coach with me over 12 months or even get my private coaching. So instead of paying me $2,000 a month, what I'm going to do right now on this webinar only is that you can book a session with me tonight for just $97. And what I'm going to do is we're going to spend 20, 30 minutes, maybe half an hour together. We'll spend as much time as we need to get my hands in your business and show you exactly what you should be doing over the next 12 months to make sure that 2016 is the best year of your life. In addition, I'm going to throw in my program, Profitable Facebook Ads Step by Step, and a program that, if you've heard of that one before, there's another program called Facebook Marketing for Newbies, and there's another name, and I'm sorry, it's escaping me right now. I'm going to throw in those programs that are valued at $500. So basically, you're going to get the equivalent of $2,000 of coaching plus the information products valued at over $500, all for just $97. So right now, go to this link. So, oh, hey, Rochelle, good to see you, and Margaret and Polly, go to this link. I just put it there in the calendar. Click on the link, and you can book your one-on-one with me, and we'll sit down, roll up our sleeves, and take a look at your business and figure out what we're going to do to make 2016 your best year ever. And I'm really excited. I mean, I'm always humbled to have the opportunity to work with you. And for anybody else, if you liked the information that you got today, please don't keep me a secret. So let me just tell you what you can do. For anybody who just liked the information that you got today, if you found today valuable at all, please go to, let me just find my event here. Please go to this event here, and don't keep me a secret. If you liked the information that you got today, please go to this event here and click the invite button. So click this drop down and click share on your page, or just click share event right here. That's all you have to do. So if you found any value at all today, click this drop down and click share event. That's all you have to do for only if you truly valued the information that you got today. And Rochelle asks, are the times Eastern or Pacific? It should, Rochelle, adjust to your time zone. So it should show in your time zone automatically. It should just automatically adjust there. So hopefully that works out for you. But I'm looking forward, Rochelle, to scheduling our one-on-one and rolling up our sleeves and helping your business. So for everybody else, just please don't keep me a secret. Would love it if you would share the event. And I'm looking forward. So you just click share the event and click share just like that. That's all you would do to not keep me a secret. But thank you. It was my sincere pleasure to have the opportunity to serve you, give you a little bit of this information, and hopefully it can make a difference in the long run in your business. So please try it. Just go and try it. Just go and use the tools that you learned today. See if you can target some of your people. We have a lot of free courses and we have a lot of free information that can help you use what you learned today. And if you're so inclined, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, please click the link that we just posted in there and we can get a chance to work with you directly. Thank you all so much. I sincerely appreciate your time, and we're going to be back next week again live, so you can come back with your questions and be ready for me to help you and help you with your Facebook marketing. So thank you so much. Namaste. We'll see you next time.